Hello and a happy Veterans Day. Welcome to another Wednesday night Project Healing Water special. Once again we've moved our computer camera setup when it was over here in this corner. I think I was just interfering with its Wi-Fi reception and this and that. So we went ahead and moved it directly behind the bench. So now I got to do a lot of spinning around and messing around with lights, but here we are, another Project Healing Water special. We do this every Wednesday night, rain or shine, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your favorite veterans, tell your least favorite person. We are here once again. You must update to continue. I keep forgetting to update, and I'm afraid that it's not going to want to do that. But anyways, while that's doing that, what we should go ahead and do is one of the things I wanted to bring up was just a little bit of show and tell, being Veterans Day. I am an Iraq War veteran. I was an E4 specialist. There's no taking that rank off of that. And this is actually a cold weather climate, desert, camouflage, DCU, cold weather. Anyways, what I wanted to do is I wanted to share a couple of things, and you guys might find it interesting. I'm pulling up on my iPod so I can see the chat when we go to spin around and can't see the camera. Anyways, Iraq veteran I am. I was in Iraq in 2005, and one of the things they gave me was this neat little thing. And it is its area is a visual language military training aid. And, it's got a little map of Iraq on the front, and it's all expandos, and it's got all sorts of everything you would need to know in Iraqi, Arabic, Kurdish, and Farsi. And these are like general military commands, ambush, danger, identify, unit, leader, get me, do you have, lie on your stomach, turn around, you, me, who, what, where, when, why, how, etc., etc. But if you can't get the vision, or if you can't get the audible going, you can use the visual representations. Let's see if we can't get a little of that. But it describes car accidents and car wrecks, and how bad was the assault, all the way from 0 to death in the morgue, and weapons and airplanes, and that's pretty cool and all. So that was something that I carried in my pocket, or carried it around with me all the time, just because you could really. It was a well thought out visual representation. So that's one thing I'll share on Veterans Day, and that was the copyright on this is 2004. And I was looking for them and I couldn't find them. I didn't see them recently. I had them out and about a while ago, but it's my Pogs, my money Pogs. Actually, you know what? Here they are. Got another kind of Iraqi command control card, numbers, etc., etc. But look at this fun stuff. Now, you're a bona fide OIF, OEF veteran when you have your funny money Pogs. I don't know. I just couldn't bring myself to get rid of them, and I think maybe that's what they were banking on. All sorts of fun stuff. So this one actually has Operation Iraqi Freedom. Anyways, those are a fun thing to. I probably got about $5-10 worth. I got a whole little box of them there. But yeah, it's Veterans Day, kind of pull out some of this old stuff and go through it. It's like, amongst all my things, I got a hose clamp, some name tags. There you go. Not a P38 can opener, but boy, this is about just as important. I've got, here we go, handcuff key and some sort of restraint. It was a soft restraint key. Anyways, stuff is stuff, but we're here to tie flies. This is Project Healing Waters. We're doing this every Wednesday, rain or shine. Oh, one last thing I wanted to show off. This goes to show how long and how old things can be and still be around. This is a Soviet weapons whiz wheel, and it has the range for mortars, all sorts of AK-47. Let's see here, AK-47, or AKM AK-47 rifle. Maximum effective range 200 A300 SA. Rate of fire 300 rounds per minute. So 7.62 PK. But I don't know. Lots of fun stuff. It's always fun to pull out this old stuff. Here's a picture of me and she's driving now. But let's go ahead and tie some flies. We're going to switch our camera over to the vice view. Take a sip of coffee. Sorry about that. I hit the mute button when I slurp on the coffee. We need to turn this little light on. All right. So, I don't know. One of the things we could have tied tonight was just a good old Patriot dry fly. And, dry flies, the Patriot dry fly, the Project Healing Waters emblem, etc. It's not my strong suit. So we're going to stick with what we know, work with what we're comfortable with tonight. It's Veterans Day. I don't want to biff it. Don't want to screw it up for everybody. There we go. Welcome, Josh. Happy Veterans Day to you. All my Project Healing Waters participants, if you are a participant of Project Healing Waters, that means you have served. And I thank you from an old field artillery, military police, National Guardsman from Michigan that enlisted in '99 and GTFO'd in 2006. Yeah, that's me. Here we are. Okay. It's not really a freestyle, but you're not going to find this pattern in any book per se necessarily. I need to get you jockeyed up. How's that look? Camera 1, camera 2. All right. So we are just going to be tying some bucktail streamers, AA Ron style, and with a little America twist. We're going to be tying these on TMC's 93, 95. That's a 9er 3, 9er 5. Gunpowder Angler. That's a cool handle. Happy Veterans Day to you. U.S. Navy 91, 95. Yep. Every Wednesday, or rain or shine. I haven't missed a Wednesday since we have discontinued our in-person, face-to-face live streaming classes, Project Healing Water sessions at the VA. Ever since then, we've been here every week. Same bat time, same bat channel. You can probably set your watch by it. Well, I would have set your watch by it because I'm plus or minus a few minutes in time delay and whatnot. So, yeah. The thing about being thanked for our service is, we can't control what other people do, and if they want to thank us, we can, no matter how it makes us feel, You know, you put on that face and say, yeah, you know what? Being here from Minnesota, it's easy. You just say, you betcha. All right. So, anyways, these are a size 4 straight eye hook, 3x heavy, 4x long. Nice hooks. I like them. We're going to be tying with a good old solid 210 denier flat wax thread. And we're going to keep it simple. I have a couple of tricks up my sleeve what I'm going to be doing here. So bear with me here. We're going to start a little bit back here just to start the thread. And I have some French tinsel with some extra stuff in there. Medium. And we're going to tie this in from the front to the rear. I'm not going to quite go all the way back. Sometimes I don't think it necessarily needs to do all that. We're going to tie this nice and even. And I like to keep it on the near side of the hook. And we're going to go right to the tip of the hook. We're going to set that off to the side. And we're going to grab one of the most magical materials out there. You guessed it. Some peacock curl. This one's all the way from the Bozeman Family Fly Shop. That's the thing, is when we are out and about, traveling the world, you don't have to spend a lot at the fly shops. I know a lot of people give the fly shops a lot of grief. But you know what? Buy one thing or two and force them to give you a receipt. We don't have to force them to give you a receipt, but give them a reason to give you a receipt, which means buy something. And it helps the whole system. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands of peacock curl, pretty bulky. We're going to tie these in by the tips. And we don't even have to cut or snip anything. We can just work that all the way in. I like that. And take note of the massive gap I have in front, because I'm going to be adding some bucktail and some flash up front, making our wings and our bellies and everything else. So we don't want to crowd the eye too soon, too early, if you know what I mean. Alright, let's take our peacock curl, and if you've ever seen me tie, you know I like to twist it a little bit. It looks like we got one kind of weird random one hanging out there, but we'll deal with you here in a minute. And I am just going to take a nice evenly spaced open spiral, not open spiral, but we're going to take touching wraps all the way. And you know what, we're going to probably have to stop and add a little bit more, because we're not going to be able to get the full distance. Not if we want the nice fuzzy innards. Alright, didn't quite make it. So we're going to pause there. We're going to back our thread up. And before we lose this, we'll secure that. So that covered about half of that. Let's do a little bit more. Reno, Nevada. Is that the biggest little city? 1, 2, 3. Go for another small clump of. We have a lake here called the Pyramid of North Reno. Sparks. Cutthroat. Catch and release. Awesome. It's been a minute since I've actually been able to hit the water to 246. Life has been so busy, coronavirus, global pandemic, this, that, and the other. So many things happening in this world that just kept me from hitting the water, which it really isn't an excuse, but it is a reason. Alright, we'll run our thread forward a wee bit. Perfect. Grab a bite of those, we'll give them a little twist. And we'll camouflage that right in, and nobody will be able to know. I'm just going to leave this nice. Now, some might say, oh, that's a waste of peacock curl. I don't think so. Get every last little bit out of this. I think that's it. Trim off the excess, and there we have it. That is our peacock herl. It's going to be an inner body. One of those things that's like we're going to put a lot of this effort and a lot of this work into what's probably never going to be seen, but we know it's there and the fish are probably going to see it. Tell you what though, it's probably a good thing that I'm not out fishing because I probably could not effectively hold a fly rod in my wrist if I wanted to. Whatever that funny bone, there's some sort of medical term for it. We'll give this a turn back here. And then we're just going to do an open spiral of this beautiful ribbing. Working our way from the rear to the front. And that's going to give us a little bit of insurance, a little bit of extra life out of that peacock curl. Give that a nice close trim. Alright, now for the simple, easy part. We're going to add our wing and our belly. And being it's Veterans Day would kind of be silly of me if I did not go with a red, white, and blue feel, at least on our first one. Although, as much as we like to take credit for red, white, and blue, I mean, there's lots of other countries that have red, white, and blue in their flags. But we're going to put a top wing of red bucktail. And what do we know about bucktail and all hair? We got to clean this end out. So I'll pinch with that left hand. Pull out any of these little shorties. Alright, and because we're cool like that, we're going to take our hair stacker little cyclone. Alright, I'm leaving a little bit of plenty of room up front for a nice head, because I want to do a nice cone head up front. But let's measure this out. So that would be a 1 hook's length, and I'm going to take that maybe about another half a hook's length past that. I'm going to do 1, 2 kind of loose wraps, and instead of having it directly sitting directly on top, I'm going to kind of mush that around a little bit so I get full coverage from, if this was a clock, we're going all the way from, like I said, it'd be 9 to 3, all the way around, not just on the top. But for the most part, it's going to be on the top. Couple wraps, lock that down. Take a wrap or 2 on the bare shank. That'll help keep that locked in. I like that. We'll cut at a diagonal. That's going to get me a nice smooth operator taper. Okay, that's step 1. That's our wing. Now for our belly. Belly, we're going to use some white bucktail. And I'm actually going to see if I can't find a different one. Sometimes when you grab a bucktail, you know it's just not the right one, because not all bucktail is the same, not all feathers are the same. If you catch 'em adrift. Alright, we got 9 of us watching tonight. Awesome, awesome. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Makes it worth my effort. Nothing's sadder and lonelier than tying flies and doing it live on YouTube and not a soul is watching. Which has happened a couple of times, but we carried on. Alright, I'm going to just grab my brush to really get that cleared out. Alright, same as before. We're going to go tips down into that hair stacker, and I give it a little twisty twirl to get it in there. And that's going to be it. We don't have to knock the snot out of it. Okay, what do we know about minnow bellies? Bellies on fish in general. So the white's not going to be quite as long. We're not going to go... We're not going to go full length. That'd be ridiculous. We're going to go about half as much. And we're going to do that, what? Underneath. And tying underneath. If you have a full rotisserie vise, that's going to make this operation a little bit easier. But give it a couple of wraps. And then a couple of wraps just in front of that. Okay? I think we're looking pretty good there. And same as before, we're going to trim this off at an angle. We got red on top, we got a little white on bottom. Gotta make sure it gets that. So see all that work, all that hard work into that inner body for it to just kind of disappear, but I don't know. The fish called, they said that they like it, so we're going to continue on with that. We got the red, we got the white, we need to add a little bit of blue. And I have this stuff, it's blue H2O flash. It's essentially a Flashaboo. This is a nice blue. I think I grabbed twice as much as what I needed on accident, so let's see if we can't set this off to the side. Alright, let's go ahead and take our, what do we got? 6 to 8 strands. We're going to fold them in half. Now we got twice as many. Alright, super simple. I'm going to just line this up about halfway on the material. And really make sure I get this on the side right where I want it. Take the remainder of it, which is about the same distance. Oh, that was a fail. Get them wet. That way they all stick together a little bit better. There we go. And that left us with this nice little cone head. Boy, oh boy. I like that. We'll finish this with a nice whip finish. Here we go. All right. Looks good so far. I think we're almost done. What we need to do next is we need to add our eyes. I like eyes. We could finish this right here, right meow. But I have some eyes that I want to add on. And what's going to make that work out just a little bit better in our favor. Maybe I went just a little bit too much on that blue. I don't know. Anyways, I want to squish the head a little bit. And for that, I'm going to use the flat part, the inside part of my scissors. These will work. These will not. Okay, see, let's just have the rubber. See how we got the two different styles. But using the inside, we're going to just give that just a little squeeze, a little compression. And that will help our eyes stick on a wee little better. Alright, let's get our Yabba Dabba Gluya. Uh-oh. Here it is. Alright, the eyes. Uh-oh. Did I turn up my volume? I turned up my volume. If I turn on my volume, it gives us an echo. So here's like the last little bit of these tiny little eyes. They're maybe a 16th inch. I mean, these are just the right size. And to stick these on, we're going to add a little dab of Gluya, a little Zap-A-Gap. And I'm just going to put a little drop on my bodkin. Sometimes it's literally all we need. Right on the side. Just enough to wet the thread. We'll grab our eye, and this is just a black and yellow sticker eye. And what they used to do is come in with some actual paint, and they would stipple on, I believe that would be the correct word, a stipple of yellow, and then after that dried, they would come back and add a little dab of black on top of that, and literally paint on the eyes. But we are not doing that tonight. We're playing with stickers. Another little dab of Gluya. Don't forget, put the cap back on the Zap-A-Gap. Nothing's worse than buying a thing of Zap-A-Gap and then forgetting to put the cover on it. And then you go, no. I just anticipate getting a little dab of Zap-A-Gap on my fingers. That gives us a nice little, I love that look. That just looks stunning. Alright, head cement. Head cement. Back in the day, the guys that after they painted on their eyes with some paint and let that all dry, then they would go through and add 9 layers of lacquer and varnish. Well, maybe not 9 layers, but I presume maybe 1 or 2. But we're going to come in with Mr. Monkey, or my bodkin monkey, or resin monkey. And anyways, we're going to add a little bit of Solarized Bone Dry. This is a really viscous UV curing head cement. So we're just going to add that on. Ooh, that's looking nice. Seal that all in right on top of those eyes. Should we get behind? Once it starts running around, there you go. And instead of having to put it on a drying wheel, we can set it and forget it. How do you like me now? So there you have it, folks. That's just a little basic kind of red, white, and blue streamer. Little bucktail streamer. What do you think? Alright. Oh, we gotta hit the volume again. Here we go. Alright, there we go. There it is. What do we think? Questions, comments, concerns? That's our first one of the night. We'll probably do another one. Obviously, we'll do another one. Wow, 30, almost 40 minutes to tie that. How about that? Here we go. Turn off the echo. Yeah, imagination is your only limitation when it comes to these. You could tie it any array of colors as your pretty little head would desire. Darker color on top, lighter color on bottom. Being Veterans Day, we did red, white, and blue. We're going to do another one. I think I'm going to do just a touch less flash. Maybe just 2 or 3 strands. I don't know. So we got 9 of us on the horn. A lot of us are veterans. In the chat, I want y'all, if you want, give me a little snapshot of your service, like Gunpowder Angler did. He was in the U.S. Navy, 91, 95. Want to give you all a shout out. Thank you all for your service. It's interesting as much as the different branches go after each other and talk each other down and this and that. The reality is when we're in the fight, we're all on the same team. We all realize that. We all know that. In fact, I believe any branch would fall over itself, kill itself, trying to save or help out a different branch. You look at the name tags. We all got names on our name tags, and they all start U.S. Uncle Sam. That's who we worked for. But I don't know. Feel free to say what's up in the chat. Let's see. Today's the 11th. Next week is the 18th. Not quite. I guess we don't really have to worry about Thanksgiving or anything like that for our live streams or Christmas or anything like that. So, as it looks, we're good to continue on throughout the rest of the year without any major interruptions. I guess now at this point I kind of have a goal. Of just doing this every week and not missing a week and doing it for the whole 52 weeks. Then I might take a weekend, might take a week off. Army 2000 to 2010. The Army was interesting in 2000s. Now, that was right when I enlisted. I enlisted in October of 99. By the time I got to basic and all that jazz, it was Y2K. But it was a weird, different time. Weird, different time. I mean, it wasn't our grandfather's army. It wasn't our uncle's army. It wasn't our father's army. And it sure as heck isn't today's army. Oh, I mean, it was a lot of growing pains. A lot of transitions were happening then. But I don't know. Looking back, that's the thing. You can look back, and one of the things that I realize is, everything happened, and everything that happened led to me sitting right here, right now. Had anything else gone differently, who knows? I could be sitting in Chicago. I could be dead. I could be back home. I could be, who knows? But here I am, right here, right now, and I'm happy about that. Got nothing to complain about. Anyways, let's go ahead and tie up another one of these. And, yeah, I'll turn my face off. Where'd I go? There I wasn't. Trying to manage my coffee and not spill. Oh boy. So if Josh, if you started in artillery, you probably did basic AIT at Fort Sill, which is where I did my basic AIT. Um, we were, what was it, second in the 82nd? I don't even remember. I mean, it's like back then, I mean, it was just like basic training. You're so new to it. You're so into it. It's just like you're so into like Bravo Company. Oh, Bravo Company, Bravo Company. It's like nobody gives a rat's butt about Bravo Company or Bravo or Third Platoon. Oh yeah, hooah hooah, Third Platoon. Nobody gives a crap about Third Platoon. Anyways, all right. Let's get our hook in. Let's get our light on. Power of 1,000 suns. Actually, the overhead light that I use, it's a full spectrum therapy light. It's a happy light, as you would call it, um, and it gives me a good spectrum for tying, and it's not good for trying to fall asleep to because you're blasting your eyeballs with fake artificial sunlight, but uh, it is what it is. Let's see here. We got Ryan's in the house with Air Force 92 to 96. Outstanding. All right, here's our hooks. TMC's 9 3, 9 5, size 4s. Nice quality. I like these. Straight eyes, 3X heavy, 4X long. These will fish out pretty good. All right. Let's start this off just like we did that last one. We're going to do our black thread, 210 denier, flat wax thread. I'm a big fan of the flat wax thread. Here we go. Josh uses his happy light when tying it also on the lathe. Yeah, I got this. And this is a big ol' one. It's actually from the VA issue. And then I have a smaller OT light. Those little, basically, I guess it's kind of the same thing, but I don't know. Anyways, we got our thread on. Let's grab our our tinsel. This is a medium French tinsel. We're going to tie this in on the side. I like running it up the side. Keep it nice and flat. Nice and even. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go back just a little bit into that. Here we go. I'm gonna come forward a little bit because when I go to do my ribbing, I actually want to do a few wraps of my ribbing before I get to my peacock curl. All right, and for our body, our inner body, our underbody, we're gonna use our peacock curl. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go 5. We'll go 5 of those. We're going to tie these in by the tips. Alright, so last time we did it, we weren't going to quite, you know, yeah, I don't want to go too thin on it. Well, yeah, we'll just send it. We're going to grab our peacock curl. We're going to give it the old twisteroo. Alright, and there's going to be a little gap between my French tinsel and where this is starting. And I'm going to fill that gap with the French tinsel as I run it forward. So I'm going to take a couple tight wraps before I get to the herl, and then I'll start spacing it out. And we know we're not going to get all the way. So we won't pretend like we will. That's pretty good. I suppose I could show off those little pogs right here. I'll do that. I'll show off a couple of these pogs here in a minute after I'm done tying this fly. We're gonna add a couple more rounds of peacock curl. One more round of peacock curl. We got 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Well, good news, ladies and gentlemen. The presidential election has come to a conclusion. Hopefully your phones will stop ringing for people trying to poll you and ask you for donations. Our advertisements will be a little bit better. Well, I guess one of my things about this whole presidential election, and they said what cost $14 billion. Who cashed those checks? Where I mean, that sounds like a very lucrative business. How can I come up with a way to get my piece of that pie? Because it sounds like it's like a bottomless pit of money that can be spent. And if it's being spent, somebody's raking it in. You know, it's like the oil business. You don't need to go into the oil business and sell and work with the oil. Just sell and work and invest in the barrels. Gotta put it in something, right? 65 million barrels of oil. Gotta put it in something. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm no investor. I know nothing about nothing. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, let's do our ribbing. Remember, we have a little bit of a gap to fill in, so we're going to take a couple of touching wraps. I think it'll be like 3, maybe 4 wraps of this. There we go. Now we can start our openly spaced ribbing spiral. Which is opposite direction. We did our forward wraps of that peacock herl and our thread and everything else, and our ribbing, we want that to work as a counter wrap, so we're going to wrap that opposite. What's nice about the oval, French oval tinsel is you can cut it with your scissors. Now don't go at it with your really nice razors. You can do it with your cheapos. Cuts just the same. Alright, let's do this same as the first. We're going to add a little bit of red bucktail on top. And we'll do our white belly with a little bit of blue. Flash for our, to complete our the feng shui of the red, white, and blue fly streamer, bucktail streamer. When I created the live stream earlier, it's like you have to put something in as a description, and I tried to give it a meaningful title, so I just called it the Veterans Day Special. I had no idea we were going to be tying red, white, and blue bucktail streamers. So this just in, we're figuring it out together, folks. I'm to the point where, you know, the reality is I don't have the mental capacity to really plan out a week by week of what we're going to tie every week. It's 9 weeks out of 10. We're figuring this out like the day of. Usually just sometimes the afternoon before we start live streaming. I say, what do I want to tie? What am I in the mood to tie? And most of our flies that we tie here, I try to keep them to what we would tie with my Project Healing Waters chapter here in St. Cloud, and that is going to be mostly stuff for bass and other warm water fish. All right. Let's run this into the stacker, tips down. And it doesn't take much. You don't have to push it through the table. So how about that snow last night? St. Cloud, central Minnesota, we got, I don't know, I got about 7.5. 7, I'll call it 7 inches or so here in, at least on my side of town. Alright, so we got a 1 hookus length, and we're going to go out about a half beyond that. go too far. All right. Trim that off at a diagonal. That'll help us with our taper. Otherwise you'll end up with a little cliffhanger. Alright, so if I was doing a Mickey fin, I would do a couple of wraps of thread to keep this underneath and keep that choked up and on top. I guess what we could have done is just a stack of Mickey fins, which is not much different than what we got going on here. Alright, where are we at? We need our belly. Little white belly. Little white belly there. Oh yeah, that's gonna be nice. Oh, for cute. And we don't have to go too thick. That's right. Sparse is nurse. Don't have to give them the whole pig, just when they want a little bit of bacon. Alright, let's go ahead and clean out the butt section. And if we so want, we can clean that out. It's funny, we got 7 inches of snow yesterday here, and my parents and my in-laws in Michigan had weather in the 70s, and my sister-in-law down in Florida, boy, it's getting ready to hit them, whatever they got coming. Not snow, but weather none the same. Alright, so we don't want to go quite as deep with this. I like to go just a little bit past the hook. Bend. Alright, let's give that a nice tapered trim. Remember, don't cut your thread. We do gotta get it behind the eye of the hook. That's a fact, Jack. Alright, now let's add our baloo. This time we're not going to add as much. In fact, we're going to go with 1, 2, 3. 3 strands of blue. That's it right there. same with the other side. I'll give that a little check, make sure it's right there in between the two. Here we go. As far as muskie fishing, I've only been out muskie fishing once. I don't know anything about muskie fishing to competently and comfortably go out and fish for muskie. I'd have no idea what I would be doing, especially as with somebody that's not in a boat. Not being in a boat, I would have no idea what to do. And as far as pike, I really don't target pike. I haven't much because here I love chasing the smallmouth bass. And I'm going to back this up a little bit. Just add a little bit more back here. There we go. And all the pike that I do catch, it's not intentional. I'm chasing bass, and I'll get a pike on. But I do tie flies for muskie. I do tie those big old ginormous Bufords. Alright, there we go. So there's the gist of the fly. There's the basics of it. But I do know fly fishing for muskie is huge around here. Not necessarily around here in the St. Cloud area. But Minnesota, man, they got the muskie. If you got the time, they got the muskie. I'd love to hook up with somebody to go out and fly fish for some muskie. I got to go out once on a veterans retreat. It was a veterans weekend fly fishing. Like everybody else was, I think it was like a turkey hunt or a deer hunt or something. And while they were doing that, there was a bunch of us that went fly fishing for muskie. And I don't think anybody got one. Alright, let's add a little dab of Zap-A-Gap right to the side. And before it goes too far, I'll just add it to this side too. And we'll stick on our stick-on eyes. I'm sure there's somebody who's tied a million of these streamers and have spent hours and days and hours painting these little eyes on and going, he's cheating. No, I'm using what I have available to me. There we go. You see it, I see it. I got this one. Duder hanging out. Oh well. All right, the eyes are on. Gotta put the cap back on. And yeah, we got 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and then we got Thanksgiving coming up. Oh boy. I'm excited for Thanksgiving. I'm ready for Thanksgiving. Mostly because I'm ready to get my Christmas lights up, my Christmas holiday decorations. Oh man, I'm that guy on the block. Hey, Steve is in the house. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Never late, but always on time. Always in time. That's what it was. Never late, but always in time. All right, let's do our solar as fungi. There we go. It'll work. So I'm thinking in a couple of weeks, for the day before Thanksgiving, I suppose, or the week of Thanksgiving live stream, I'm going to see about if I can find the right hooks. We're going to do another deer hair. We'll do a deer hair turkey. The deer hair turkey. Gobble till you wobble. I tied that a few years ago and it was a hit. You see a lot of fly tyers like to get out there on Thanksgiving and tie some turkey flies. Whatever you can do to make a turkey. We'll set it and forget it with this bad boy. Don't forget to get the underside. Here we go. Alright, there you go. What do you think? Little Veterans Day red, white, and blue streamer. Could be French, could be Dutch, who knows? But here on the 11th day of the 11th month, and it's 11 o'clock somewhere. Good stuff, good stuff. I like it. I do think that one turned out just a little bit better. The dialing back on the flash. Oh, you never have to apologize for being late, especially when you're taking care of the family. I'm the only one on the hook that's supposed to be here. Wanted to. I'll show you guys some of these money pogs. So the line that they told us was it cost the PX too much money to have actual change, actual coins. So instead of dimes, nickels, and quarters, these, I'm trying to get a few of them out. Here we go. This is the money. This is currency. This is, I believe, I bet you, I probably could. I could probably walk onto any Army base, any PX, Air Force, BX, PX, whatever you want to call it. whatever they go by these days. Get that off to the side. And this was our legal currency. This is, I guess this used to be cash value. This gift certificate has retail value of 5 cents and is redeemable only at your BXPX. So there we go, 2003. And then you can see on the back sides, the blues were nickels, fireballs were quarters. But I don't know, I think it's pretty neat, the artwork on them. You know, a female, looks like Navy, 2005. So all of mine will be 2003, 4, or 5. Funny money. I mean, do I hang on to them after all these years, or do I go into the PXPX and buy myself a Coca-Cola? Here we go, that one's pretty cool. The Enola Gay. Yeah. But yeah, I believe they were printed off in sheets and sets and things like that. Collect all 5 and you win. Here we go. That's what it was like. Trying to get your junk out of the BXPX. We go where you go. I don't know. A little show and tell here on Veterans Day. I always like getting out on Veterans Day. I used to go out to the Veterans Day programs. I really always loved going to speak at elementary schools. Always had a lot of fun at the old elementary schools, talking to the kids there and telling them about what it's like being in the Army and things like that. The questions and answers, question time afterwards was always a hoot too. I mean, the questions, I always tell them, I'm like, you know, there's no such thing as well, that's the thing, I got nobody to pass anything down to. The buck stops with me. Where was I going? I lost my thought. Anyways. Oh, let's do one more. Or we'll do a variance of what we've been doing. I've got an idea. Let's go ahead and start with our Fred. Oh, since we got Steve joining us, and a couple of others might have joined us. The hooks we're using tonight, these are TMC's 9395s, size 4s. That's what we're tying with tonight. Enlisted in October of '99, shortly after high school, which is interesting because when I graduated high school, joining the military, I would have laughed. I would have literally June, yeah. When I graduated high school in June, if you would have asked me if I was going to join the military, I would have laughed at you. But it was one of those things that's just, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Before I tie this in, we're going to do something just a little bit different. Alright, let's duck, goose, crust, CDC, ostrich, crust. we want to find a crust feather. Alright. I'm going to let you guys make your own judgments on the hairstyle of this poor bird. It's a pretty bird, but that's what we're going for. Looks kind of I don't know, as they say, presidential. Let's find one of these. Well, that one's just not wanting to sit pretty. Here we go. It almost ties in almost like an eyelash. Here we go. I like that. Now let's get our French tinsel. Medium. We're going to tie this in on the side. Alright, well, before I go, I'm going to go forward a few wraps. I'm going to do my wraps of this right away. I'm just going to do a couple of turns. You know, I'm going to scratch that. We're going to get to that when we get to that. Back up, back up, back up. Alright, we'll grab our clump of peacock. Alright, this time I am going to try to space this out just a little bit. And see if we can't get a little more coverage. See if we can't go a little bit thinner. So yeah, I guess we can make that full run with just one round of hurl. But that being said, it's not as dense. But yep. Oh yeah, we're gonna counter wrap this. Now we're into it. Yeah, it looks just a little skinny now, doesn't it? But that's all going to be under the wings and junk, so not going to lose too much sleep over that, are we? All right. I betcha if I have it, I might just send it. I might go for it. But I don't think it's going to be quite. Not quite big enough. Well, maybe. Let's give that a look-see-loo. Do we have a friend for its other side? I don't know. Let's just stick with the bear, not the bear wing. We'll stick with the, oh, what is that called? Bucktail. We'll stick with the bucktail. Alright, what did we have? We had red on top. Let's see. And then because we have that little extra little golden crest sticking out, we're gonna stop our wing just a little bit shorter. That way we can work off of that as an accent instead of just burying it. Clean, clean the bucktail, clean. Alright, we'll give it a quick stack in the hair stacker. Give it the old cyclone. I guess one downside about this being, the Veterans Day of 2020, not being out sociable at the local watering holes, not being able to pull out your challenge coins. That's always fun. I always like busting out those challenge coins. I believe my highest coin was a two-star general. I think I think it was a two-star, two or three-star, two-star. Now I'm curious. I'll have to get up and look at it when I'm done. I think it's a three-star general. And the thing is you pull your coin out and start wrapping it on the bar, and if anybody can outrank you, then you're buying the rounds there, bud. This round's on you. But when I was in Iraq, I was in a field artillery unit under command of a military police company. And the brass would walk around and they would give their coins to all the actual military police qualified folks. And us artillery guys were just kind of sitting there with nothing in our pockets. It's just a coin, nobody cares, it's blah blah blah. I don't care, everybody's all tough about it. But everybody wanted these coins because they were for morale, that's all it was. And that's what they were for, is to build and boost morale, little attaboys. Well, I took it upon myself and I had 500, it's what I could afford at the time. I had 500 wooden nickels made up, and I walked around and I coined everybody from the lowest private all the way up to the two-star general, deputy commanding general of our operations. And it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Go underneath this. And nobody was expecting to get coined from an E4 specialist with a wooden nickel. Nobody saw that coming, and I mean nobody saw that coming. And after a while, word got out. I had not generals, but I had colonels and sergeant majors, and they all wanted to meet me because they all wanted the coin. I gave them to them. When I gave it to the general, he's like, "What motivated you? What motivated you to do this?" I said, "Sir, morale is everybody's responsibility as far as I'm concerned. So I just find it important to take care of the troops." Okay, so maybe instead of going on the side, do we just put the flash blue on the top? Do we do the blue on the bottom, or do we keep with the blue on the side? I like the blue on the side. We're going to keep it to our 1, 2, 3. Looks like one strand right now. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. One single strand, one ping only. movie is that from? One ping. Give me one ping. Ping. And they bust out a Crazy Ivan left. What? How'd you know I had Crazy Ivan left? Well, it's a 50-50. 50-50 shot. Alright, we're just checking out the back end, making sure those are at the same length. And we'll just make sure that's on the side right where we want it. We're looking good. Hunt for the Red October. Yes. Alright, nice base for that eye. And I think, like most flies, most live stream sessions that I do, I think the last one is always the best. This is probably going to be my last fly tonight. By the time we get the eyes and junk glued on, not going to have much time for another one after that. Let's get our whip finish. Nice and true. So if you guys or gals have any questions about me or my service in the military, now's the time to ask. I'm pretty open and honest with anything and everything from my deployments or my deployment and or my time in the military. So we'll call this Ask a Veteran a Question. Ask me a question and I'll give you an honest answer, if I can. And if it's beyond or whatever, if it doesn't make me feel comfortable, then guess what? I won't answer the question. So one of the things that helped me get through my time was talking about everything and being open with everybody, keeping the dialogue moving. But boy, I wish I had known about fly tying before my deployment to Iraq, because I guarantee you, had I had this, or had the guys, had fly tying been available to me personally and the guys that I was deployed with, I guarantee you there would have been a lot less video games being played. Because that's, we're talking 2005, so what, Grand Theft Auto 2? Vice City? I don't know what they were even playing. Call of Duty 1? Maybe? I don't know. I remember at one point I thought, how cool would it be to have a Grand Theft Auto Baghdad, where you had to like steal tanks and stuff like that. Take a Humvee and relocate it from one motor pool to another motor pool. Secret squirrel missions and stuff like that. Here we go. A little dab of glueus. And get a little bit on the bodkin, just enough to wet that up. Perfect. There we go. Add a little dab of gluon here. A little bit of Solares. We played Halo. And we set up a network. Yeah, it was just like that was like the time where it's just like I was just learning about computer networks and this and that and like wireless Wi-Fi. Why it was like the beginning of Wi-Fi pre-YouTube. I mean, gosh, how did we survive? We had one guy's because you could buy these knockoff hard drives um, in Baghdad, and I only got to go to Baghdad once, twice. I think I went on one mail run, and that was it. Went on one mail run. Oh, it was one more. It was a hospital run, um, ambulance run. So yeah, I was stationed in Abu Ghraib prison, and we conducted detainee operations. And one of my convoys that I went on, I got to ride in the back of an ambulance with injured detainees. And it's like, wow, it's crazy times to be riding around in a back of a vehicle with a big red cross painted on the side of it. Mom popping in to say hi. Appreciate all the veterans watching tonight. Red, white, and blue is so cool. Thank you, Mama. I like it. Well, there you go. All you little cats and kittens. I think we actually survived this live stream without much technical interference, technical difficulties. So there we go. That's our red, white, and blues. We're gonna call it after this. I'm not gonna have enough time to crank one of these out effectively and efficiently. What do we think? I kind of like that little bit of golden crest in there. I think it adds just a little bit adds a little bit. Turn that off. See if that helps. See if that helps. Nope, that turned off my face. I'm gonna turn my face back on. So, anyways, yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. I'm always open for suggestions for flies to tie. Um, not even doesn't even have to be necessarily a specific fly, as it can just be a theme. So drop me some comments or leave me in a message in the chats or whatnot if you have any suggestions as to what you might want to tie coming down the road. My brain is frizzled. It is fried. I don't know what to tie anymore. And I'm really not into tying flies that you can see a bazillion million videos of. But we'll see. I'll always entertain the thought. So, being Veterans Day, I'm gonna cut off a little early. Spend some time with my wonderful wife. She was working all day, and was taking care of the the driveway. because it was we're into doing the driveway now, keeping that clean, keeping it tight, keeping it safe. So, anyways, that's our little red, white, and blue streamer Veterans Day special. Thank you to all my fellow veterans. Thank you for doing what you did for our country. We didn't necessarily get much choice as to what we got to do or when we got to do it. All of us that were not drafted, it was our choice to just sign up and do this as a volunteer force. Those of you who were drafted, you guys didn't have any choice. So, it's still, we're all in it together. I think moving forward, I think if you want to thank a veteran, act like an American worth fighting for. All right, we did not shed our blood. We did not give everything that we had just so you can be rude or selfish or greedy. It's all about caring for others, being kind to each other. So that's what we do. So be nice out there, be kind, rewind. Thank you all for watching. Please stay healthy, everybody. I'm watching this spike, I'm watching the data come in, and it's kind of scary out there. So please stay healthy, please stay safe, everybody. Happy tying! Happy tying, everybody. Imagination is your only limitation. Tight lines. Peace.